Hey guys, my name is Tapan Seep. I'm one of the TA for Architecture 233. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a simple annotation and adjustment in Revit, as well as how to insert your drawing onto an 11 by 17 and how to print it as well. So this here is a file provided by one of my students. I'm going to be using it as an example for our tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and go to floor plans, go to level 1. So most of you guys probably create your drawings on level 1. That's fine. But I think it might be a good idea to do a duplicate of that level. So go to level 1, right click, duplicate view, duplicate with detailing. So the reason why I'm doing this is because the next drawing or project in project 1 is a structural framing plan, and you're going to be building on top of the foundation plan, so we want to reserve our annotation for that particular sheet only. And so we're going to rename this view by going to rename and rename that to structural framing or whatever name you want. Hit OK. And then at our original level 1, just gonna rename that to foundation so I know. OK. So before we start to work on our annotation, what we need to do is to change our view scale to the correct scale. And the scale we want to use for this one is 3 by 64. So on your properties panel, on my screen is on the left hand side, go to view scale and then change that to 364. And then that's going to change this drawing to 364. So as you can see, everything got bigger, and we need to adjust the text dimensions and size so that it's, doesn't overlap each other. But before we do that, we need to make sure our grid is placed properly. Go to your elevations and make sure the grid is dragged down past the lowest level, or below the caisson. To do this, just click on one of the grid and then a little note should pop up. Click on that and then drag down. Do it for the horizontal one as well. And make sure you check all the elevation to make sure the grid are placed properly. So the reason why I'm doing it is so that in particular, levels, we want to make sure that our grid is visible, and this is going to guarantee that the grids will be visible when we access, base of caisson, foundation, or if we cut like in between these column shaft. We want to be able to see the grid lines, and so we need to drag these below the lowest level. Alright, looks good. Go back to your foundation plan. So this little box here, square with a triangle, these are your elevation markers. If they're in the way, just drag them to the side. If you delete them, it's okay, but you're just going to loot the elevation views on your property browser. But you can always add that later on. You delete it, so not a big deal. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to adjust is the grid's text and bubble size. So I'm going to click on the grid, and then in order to change all of the grid, we just select one of them, do a right click, select all instance, entire project, and we're going to edit type. We're going to change this family type by duplicating it. So it's always a good idea to duplicate anything that you need to change in a family. so that you have the original one in case you screw up something. You have the default settings in the original. So I'm going to rename this to 1/16 bubble. Okay, and this is not going to change anything. It's just going to change the name. But what we need to do is we need to change the symbol, grid head circle. We're going to do that by accessing the family property. So right now, just hit OK. So in your project browser, you're going to scroll down and find families. Hit the plus symbol to expand properties. Go to annotation symbols. Hit the plus symbol to expand properties. And find a grid head circle. Expand that. Click on it. And we're going to duplicate. Double click on it. And then you can rename this to grid head circle 1/16. And in our radius, we're going to change that radius to 1/16. Okay. And next, we're going to go to grid head circle. This one, the one on the top. And we're going to edit by doing a right click, edit. And we're going to click on this text. And you're going to do edit type. You're going to duplicate and change this to 364. Hit OK. And change the text size to 364. Hit OK. And then load into project. So now, as you can see, the text is smaller now. Next, what we need to do is to change the circle size. So select your grid. And, sorry, not your grid, but yeah, actually, select your grid. And then go to edit type. And then make sure in the symbol you click on it and select circle 1/16. Hit apply. Hit OK. And as you can see now, the grid circle head is smaller and the text fit within it. So if your text is like, getting a little bit too large, we can always change the grid head size by going to the families properties in your project browser, and then basically just change the radius. Let's see, where is it? There we go. Let's change it to like 1/8. That was a little bit too big. 3/32. Yeah, I think 3/32 works a little bit better. Yeah, rename this. Okay, so next thing, we're going to change the dimensions. So if you guys don't know how to do dimension, just go to at the top of your Revit, go to modified, and then you're going to hit the symbol here under measure, and then to insert dimensions strings, just click on the grids or any objects, and then click to the next point. You can also access it in Annotate, Aligned. Okay, so to change the annotation text size for dimension, click on it, and then again we're going to edit type, duplicate, and change this to 364. And we're going to change the line weight to 1 because we don't need to be 5. 1 should be fine. And then the dimension line extension, change that to 364. Flip dimension line extension 364. Then we're going to scroll down to find text size, change it to 364. Okay. And now our text size should be smaller. Now, you might realize that some of them might not be changed, and we just basically have to select it and then select all instance in the entire project and make sure their type is 364. To change the arrow, so if you guys have the tick mark instead of arrow, in order to change the size of that, you can just go to edit type, and in the tick mark, just change your diagonal to 364. But if you guys have an arrow, in order to change the size of that, you will need to go to at the top, manage additional settings, go to arrowheads, and pick the arrow fill 30 degree or which one you were working on, and change the tick size to 1/32. So there you go. This might be a little bit small, but I think it's okay. But if you need to make it a little bit bigger, you can. So now that we changed the dimension of text size and arrowheads, the next thing that we're going to be doing is the text annotation and size. So in order to do annotation for the text, you're going to go to Annotate up at the top here and go to text. Then you're going to create a box for your text and type in whatever you want. So there are other ways to annotate text. I think this is the simplest way. If you guys want to learn more about creating parametric families for annotation, feel free to do so. This video will only cover this simple annotation text. So in order to create the arrows for your text, click out of this selection by clicking on the modified, or I think escape works too. And click on the text that you created, and on the top, modified text nodes. Pick a direction for your arrows. I'm going to go to the right, and then just position your text according to how you want it, and then point your arrow to your object and adjust the box for the text. There you go. So to change the text size, it's pretty simple. Click on your text and go to edit type. Again, duplicate it. Hit 364. Change it to 364. And then change the text size to 3/64. Okay. And now, so it only changed this one. That's because the other ones were on it's a different family type. So click on it. Right click, select all instance in entire project, and then change it to 3/64. There you go. So another thing that I forgot to tell my section is that if your view scale was not changed when you create this text, you will have to reposition all your text, because once you rescale the text, the arrows in the box will not change along with it. So in this case, we have to readjust all of our text and make sure that the lead line is in the right location. I'm not going to do all of it, but so you guys will have to do that. But there's no quick way to do this. You have to go one by one and change them all. That's why if you guys learn how to do a parametric annotation, how to create that, it might save you some time, but we will not cover that in this tutorial. So now that we got the annotation text for dimension, and now that we changed the grid line, the next thing that we're going to be doing is how to poche these caissons like shown on the construction documents. So in order to do that, if you're using the family provided on Compass, we need to adjust the family a little bit because the way that it was created is a little bit funky, but it's still workable, so I'm just going to continue using this. So click on your caisson, go to Edit Family, and then we're going to select this triangle shape button, this triangle shape here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to hide this in a particular detail level. So in order to do that, go to Graphics, under Visibility/Graphic, hit Edit, and then we're going to hide this at the detail levels of Fine. So uncheck that to hide it. Okay. So it's not hidden here, but it will be when we go to the when we go to do it in our plan. So overwrite that. So now we need to change the view range for this drawing. Basically, we want to cut have our cut line be where the shafts are. So right now we look at the view range in the properties, scroll down, find view range, edit. Right now our cut plane is at 4 foot above foundation level, and what that means is that we go to elevation, the cut line for the floor plan's foundation level is right now cut at 4 foot above this foundation, so like around here, and we want it to cut, you know, right here where we have our caisson. So go back to your foundation, hit view range, edit, and set your view depth to base of caisson and bottom to base of caisson, or the bottom level of your caisson, and change those values to 0. Cut plane, we're going to do minus 20 foot. That should be pretty where the columns of the caissons are. And then if you guys, you know, are confused with what these values does, hit this show button, and it'll bring you a window that explains with a graphic of what these properties, what they do. Hit apply. Okay. So right now you can see like there's like multiple circles in the smaller diameter, and that's because the way that the family was created. And to get rid of that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Properties. We're going to scroll up, and we're going to find our detail level. Right now it's in Coarse. We're going to change it to Fine. And that little that circles, that weird circle that we had, now it's gone. And in order to poche this, we need to go into the Visibility Graphics and add a poche to it. In order to do that, go to View and click Visibility Graphics, or type VV for shortcut. And then next we're going to find structural columns right here. And under Cut Patterns, click on the white box, override color, change it to gray, and pattern, select solid fill, hit OK, hit apply, and hit OK. So now you can see that the shaft is pocheed. Next, we will look at how to insert this onto a title block. To do that, go to View, click on View, go to Sheet Composition, select Sheet, and so right now we don't have an 11 by 17 title block, but we can just load it. And then scroll down to Title Blocks and select 11 by 17, open. Okay. So you can bring in title blocks that you have created in Revit onto, in AutoCAD like from last semester in 231 onto Revit. But I'm not going to cover how to do that in this tutorial. We're just going to use this the generic one provided by the Autodesk. But even with this one, we can edit it. So like if we don't want the Autodesk local, go to Edit Family, and then delete that. I believe on Compass, Professor Deutsch has provided us with some pre-made title blocks, so you can also download that as well. So in order to bring in our drawing onto this title block, go to your project browser and scroll up to where your plans are. And you can click on the foundation plan and drag it over. And then you're just going to simply reposition this. So right now, if you want to hide these the elevation markers, you can just click once onto the view and scroll down to find crop view, crop region, check those, crop annotation, crop, check those, and then we're just gonna double click inside, and then click on this line here, and then drag and make sure that this dashed line is in front of the elevation markers. And then if we don't want to see these sort of box line here, you can just uncheck the crop region. There you go. And then you can always, nudge your position of the view by using your arrow keys on the computer, or I mean on the keyboard. So I'm gonna delete this because I don't need this. So in order to position our title underneath the drawing, just click on it and then drag it up. To adjust the extension line, click on your view, and then the node should pop up for this extension line, and then just drag the node to wherever you want, and go to your project browser and scroll down to find the sheet right here, sheets, expand the property, and then we can rename this like the foundation, for example, and then change this to S for structure. So to print, just go to your Revit icon, click that, go to print. So Microsoft the PDF does, I believe, do not have an 11:17 paper size. So you might have to download something like Adobe Acrobat or Qt PDF Writer on. You can search that on Google. It's free. And once you have those drivers installed, or printers rather, you can go to print range and you can go to selected views or sheet. Click on that. Go to select. Find your foundation plan. Check that. Hit OK. You can save the setting. I'm not going to. And click no. And setting, go to setup. In paper size, pick 11:17. And then in the zoom, go to 100. Go to zoom and make sure it's at 100%, because when we print this, we want it to be in the correct scale. So having it 100% will ensure that. And then these settings, we can leave it the way they are, and then hit OK. Then all you have to do is just hit OK, and then it should print. So on my computer, I haven't fixed my printer driver and setting yet, so I have to do it a little bit differently than you guys. But you should be able to hit OK, and then it should print for you in PDF. And then from PDF, you can go to the computer lab and use that computer to print your PDF onto a printer. So just hit OK, and then save it somewhere. and then just open it, take a look, make sure everything is okay. So, you know, for this project, the first assignment for project 1, the foundation plan, make sure you have the property lines on your drawing as well. Alright, that's all. Thanks.